Meeting to order. Before we get into the meeting, I'd just like to point out to everyone that we have a total of 3 working microphones tonight. 2 to cover the council, 1 for the public. Carl, how's it looking back there? Looking okay? Yeah. All right. Just asking everyone to use your theater voices, project. Make sure that everybody can hear you. Bill will be joining us via phone, and in talking with Garland, we're still going to do obviously roll call for ordinances, but on everything else, I'll just make a point in asking Bill how he's voting, so council can hear where he's at on that. So, with that, Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Hal Glanville.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Lukens.
Here.
Melissa Niles.
Here.
Travis Orbach.
Here.
Larry Pratt.
Here.
Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As always, council, remember if you have a conflict of interest, please let the rest of the council know before you vote. Going to get a motion to approve an amended agenda for tonight. The amendment is adding an executive session at the end of the council meeting for South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2-3 legal.
I make a motion to approve an amended agenda for tonight, adding executive session at the end of the meeting in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2-3 legal.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Thank you. A motion to approve the minutes from the October 2nd meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 2nd council meeting.
Second. Get that, Misty?
I did.
Discussion?
I would like to note that on the credit card claims, there was a 10-cent difference, if you remember at the meeting, and I asked you to go with the number on the claims, but it was actually the other. So the correct amount was $12,756.84. The 10-cent difference was just a typo in between the two. And I just wanted to clarify that the amount was different that I told you at night. So.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill? Thank you. A motion to approve the bills in between.
Make a motion to approve bills in between for $221,388.09.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill? Aye. Thank you. Motion to approve the current claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the current claims of $206,087.48.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill? Aye. Thank you. Communications from the public. Do we have anyone that would like to address the council tonight? All right. We have a 7:10 public hearing. We're about 5 minutes away from that. So let's go ahead and move into personnel. We'll pick off things that we can until we get to our 7:10 public hearing. That would bring us to personnel. Can I get a motion to approve personnel actions A through D?
Make a motion to approve personnel actions, item A through D.
Second. Discussion?
It was noted that we should clarify that Bob Nelson Jr., our new city administrator, is no relation to Bob Nelson Sr., our mayor. So, like to clarify that for the public.
Yep. And Brett did an excellent job of covering our new city administrator in last week's paper. This will certainly make it a lot easier to place blame going forward.
So are we going to be addressing you as senior and him as junior?
That's your call.
We just don't call you late for lunch.
Uh-huh. That, as you can see, that doesn't happen often. All right. Any other comments?
Excuse me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
There'll be a little discussion on the ordinances. So let's move on and pick up our first resolution. That would be resolution item A, resolution 2023-24, a resolution to amend a citywide fee resolution. Can I get a motion on that, please?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-24 to amend the citywide fee resolution to change airport fuel price to $6.20 per gallon.
Second.
Pick one of them?
Larry.
That's what Larry told me to do.
All right. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. Our next resolution, Resolution B, Resolution 2023-25, resolution to surplus and sell city property.
I make a motion to accept the resolution to 2023-25, the resolution to surplus and sell city property at the Southern Hills Golf Course firewood pile.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
The motion passes. Thank you. Go ahead and move on to new business item A. I get a motion to approve KLJ Engineering as the airport engineers for 2024 through 2028.
Make a motion to approve KLJ Engineering as the airport engineer for 2024 through 2028, based on a unanimous recommendation from the Airport Advisory Committee and Engineer Selection Committee.
Second.
Discussion? Bill, is there anything you'd like to add from the committee standpoint?
The committee went through the scoring this as if we would have had multiple applicants. We did not, and went ahead and again scored it based on KLJ's middles, and we are pleased with what they've done in the past and would like to continue going forward with KLJ.
All right. As Bill just mentioned, KLJ has been our engineers for the last 5 years. And they've, Charlie has done a great job of attending the meetings and helping us out figure out the best way forward for the airport. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
The motion passes. All right. We're almost at 7:10. Hang on for about 15 seconds here. All right, it's 7:10, so I'd like to open the public hearing tacked on the license application from the Boys and Girls Club of Hot Springs for a special sale alcoholic beverage license application for the Wine and Wreath fundraiser event on November 18th, 2023 at the Mammoth Site, 1800 US Highway 18 bypass. Anybody from the public that would like to speak to this? Come on down.
Hi, I'm the development director. I'm new. So if I'm doing anything wrong, just please let me know.
Your name for the record, please?
Sabrina Escalante. ESCALANTE. So our Wine and Wreath event will be happening November 18th. All proceedings do go to the Hot Springs Boys and Girls Club. So everything we make will stay local. The night will start off at 6:30. It's kind of like a auction. We have a lot of businesses, local businesses making wreaths, and then we just auction them off. And we have sponsors. According to the amount that you sponsor, you are given a certain amount of bottles of wine for the night. Currently, our main focus is trying to do active play. So that'll enforce healthy lifestyles among the children. So Melanie, she's the director at the club. She will get all the necessities for that, and that goes to activities for physical education, ingredients for healthy food choices, textbooks, because we do go into the calorie and number intake of the food that they do consume. So that would be our main focus.
How many people do you typically have show up for your event?
Last year we sold 173 tickets. This year we're aiming for 220.
Goodness.
Good.
Yes.
I had no
Good
idea.
for you. For those who don't know, what's the address of your Boys and Girls Club?
That is a great question that I wish I could answer. I'm so sorry. That I don't have on hand.
Okay, where's the at? Can you put a proximity of what's near it?
Yes, it's right by,
105 North River Street.
okay, I was going to say Black Hills Exterior. But yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet. The internet.
Do you have any idea how many wreaths will be available to auction?
Currently, I have 11 wreaths signed up. We typically like to aim for 20. We just don't want the night to go on for too long, so we try to keep it under 25.
Good.
Sounds like a great
Bill,
event.
get one thing for me.
Sure. Okay, Larry the Lobster said I will do.
Any other questions?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot.
All right, we'll round up here a little bit. Why don't we go ahead? There isn't any other public out there. Why don't we go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:14? And then I need a motion to approve, deny, or postpone the license application.
I'll make a motion to approve the act on the license application from the Boys and Girls Club. Beverage license application for the
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Carl's bringing your microphone up for you.
Okay.
All right. So we'll jump back up on our agenda. We'll go to the ordinances. Ordinance A is a first reading of ordinance 1249, an ordinance revising Title 5 Public Works, Chapter 51 Water. Can I get a motion on that one, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading ordinance 1249, an ordinance revising Title 5 Public Works, Chapter 51 Water, 51.02 Application for Water Service, 51.03 Service Sizes, Materials and Installation, 51.04 Service Line Connections, Termination, 51.05 Water Meters, 51.06 Service Line Installation, 51.08 Water Rates and Billing, 51.09 After Hours Service Calls, 51.12 Private and Public Fire Protection, and 51.99 Penalty.
Discussion. Misty will keep me on track here. You folks can see all of the changes to each one of these in red or the strike-throughs. The bulk of the changes are moving the actual fees out of the ordinance itself and setting those fees in the citywide fee resolution like we do everywhere else. It makes it a lot cleaner when we need to change the fees. We're not going in and editing an ordinance to change the fees. Also took a look to make sure that the fees were appropriate, and some language changes for clarifications in different areas. But I want to thank Ariel and Misty for going through this, the water folks for sitting down and helping out with it to get to, in each case, a cleaner resolution that isn't as bulky. Again, focusing on moving the fees out of the ordinance itself and moving it into the citywide fee resolution. Misty, is there anything you'd like to add?
I would add the reason we didn't do this when we codified our ordinances and did it with all the others is we had just finished a utility fee study and established the 5 years of fees in the ordinances, so that's why it's taken this long, and those fees expire at the end of this year. So we participated in another utility fee study and landed on 2.5% increases for the next 3 years. At the annual conference, I talked to the gentleman who did our first utility fee study, and he reminded me that we're still going backwards because with inflation, 2.5% doesn't even cover that. We're trying to keep it reasonable, but still stay eligible for any grant funding that's available. And then in this water ordinance in 1249, we also clarified meter responsibility, hopefully to make it a little more understandable, because there's a lot of parts and you have to draw a line somewhere, and where the line is drawn is a little complex, so we clarified by adding some language regarding that. And most definitely had the help of the utility folks with these revisions, because we can take the fee schedules out, but the rest of it, they were instrumental.
Any questions? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Al Glanville,
Here.
I need a yes or no vote from you.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you, that's okay. Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Melissa Niles,
Yes.
Travis Orbach,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, first reading passed. Thank you. On to our second ordinance, Ordinance B, first reading of Ordinance 1250, an ordinance revising the Title 5 Public Works, Chapter 52, wastewater and storm sewer. So this is the other half of our water, wastewater ordinances that were changed. And the same similar types of changes to the ordinance, wastewater and storm that were discussed in the water ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading ordinance 1250, ordinance revising Title 5 Public Works, Chapter 52, wastewater, storm sewer, 52.03, private wastewater disposal septic system, connections and fees, 5.2. For public sewer. 5.2.11. Fee termination remedy. And 9 penalty.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would add, other than the fees, the only thing on the wastewater ordinance for the establishment of some guidelines for commercial sewage dumping, all that's new language, but the activity's not new. So we're establishing an annual permit fee for the commercial sewage dumping, rates and hours. Other than the fee changes, that's the only dynamic difference in this one. And again, that was at the recommendation of the department head.
Yeah. And as Misty just talked about, it became apparent to the sewer folks that we needed to tighten when the different businesses could actually dump sewage. They were able to do it through the weekends, and that wasn't working well. There was occasions where things that shouldn't be dumped into the sewer system were getting dumped into the sewer system. So they made the recommendation that we tighten up when we allow the dumping at the wastewater treatment plant. Any other questions? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Deborah Johnston,
Yes?
Melissa Niles,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Al Blando,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Travis Orbach,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Thank you.
First reading of ordinance 1250 passes. Thank you. All right, we already got new business item A, so we'll move on to new business item B. Going to get a motion to schedule a public hearing on Monday, November 6th at 7:10 PM to consider proposal to amending Chapter 155 zoning code.
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing on Monday, November 6th at 7:10 PM to consider the proposal to amending Chapter 155 zoning code, creating a planned unit development, PUD, numbered 155.032F2, titled PUD number 2 Martin Tracks, to the current lists of City of Hot Springs zoning districts and amending the City of Hot Springs zoning map.
Second.
Discussion. So at your last council meeting, there was this same public hearing that was scheduled, but council wasn't able to act, make a recommendation on approving it or not. There was one step in the process that didn't get completed, and that was actually posting the signs on the property itself so that the public knew that hearing was going to be there. So went ahead and gave the folks an opportunity that wanted to attend that meeting, to share their feelings about it, give them the opportunity to voice their opinions. But we needed to schedule another one to make sure that all of the steps have been followed. We've been working closely with Scott and Misty to identify everything that needs to be done to be in place by that November 6th meeting, and feeling confident that this time we'll have all the steps covered so that council will be able to decide whether they want to approve that particular PUD or not. So that's why it's on the agenda second time for you.
And we'll have the plans for you to review.
Did they show their little video that night?
No.
No?
We did have someone from the public from that area spoke and gave,
Property owner.
the property owner gave his or their approval of the plan and to go forward.
So they were agreeable at that point?
One came down,
Okay.
yes.
And Misty was talking about the plans. Scott is going to ask the designer, developer of the plan of the PUD, to go ahead and provide some hard printed copies, large versions, and they'll be available at City Hall. So I would encourage council, if you actually like hard paper or whatever, come down and take a look at them, because when they're reduced down to this size, to be in your packet, they're not readable. At least not if you're 70 years old, you can't read them. They'll be providing a electronic version also, if you want to use your computer and blow them up that way. They're much easier to read. Pardon?
When?
My hope would be by the end of the week, but certainly before the meeting.
The Thursday before the public hearing would be the deadline.
All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. On to new business item C. Motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the letter of commitment.
I make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the letter of commitment to participate in the Fall River County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Second.
Discussion? Bill, from Public Safety, is there anything you'd like to add on this? A little clarification?
This plan, as Frank told us, is updated every 5 years. Each jurisdiction is required to participate in the plan, so this is our commitment to participate in the plan. So probably next, I'm guessing around July is when we'll have to designate someone to be the city's representative. And typically, the participation involves about 4 2 to 3 hour long meetings that are hosted and facilitated by the county and I think South Dakota Council of Governments, or whatever that organization is.
Black Hills Council of Local Government.
Thank you, Misty.
You're welcome.
Bill, you mentioned, this is Travis, you mentioned the word require. This is only to be in line for funding, right?
It's required for the county to apply for the grant funding at this stage.
Right,
But
so-
the planning is required, and that's regardless of the funding of the grant for the planning that they're trying to get.
So the grant could be separate from our, say that again?
So this letter at this time is required for Fall River County to apply for the grant funding to help them with the plan. The plan itself is required whether they get grant funding or not. Bill, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a two-step process. This is for updating the plan. The hazards then that are identified in the plan, grants are applied to address those identified hazards.
How do they divvy up that money, the grant money?
It's various sources. Most of it is Homeland Security grants.
No, but I mean-
Some of it.
I mean, when it comes in, sorry, but when it comes in, does the county decide where it goes? No, they apply?
No, I don't believe so. It's a matter of applying for it, and typically it is first come, first serve. So it depends on the type of grant. So if the two basic hazards that we have on the books right now are fuels reduction grants for urban forest interface and emergency power grants. So those will be two different sources. The fuels interface or the fuels reduction grants, I think, come from the state and may be a little bit easier to acquire through working through South Dakota Wildland Fire. Sometimes, depending on the emergencies and disasters that have happened in previous years in the state, will determine how much mitigation grant money is available for things like emergency backup power. And there's some other constraints such as community size that also determine who gets the money and how much money they'll get.
Is that why, that's why Black Hills throws the economy into the... So I'm looking at the Fall River from 2020 version. They mentioned the economy in there. That's probably why they mentioned the economy, like the size, the population and all that.
All of that figures, all of that figures into what needs to be mitigated against, because, the Black Hills, our area is fairly complex because the hazards that we're subjected to, will impact the agricultural community, the tourism industry, as well as normal commercial light manufacturing, and all of that. So we probably have a more complex spread of hazards than, say, areas east of here that are more strictly agricultural.
Thank you.
The grant they're applying for,
Yeah.
I pulled up the email from Frank to clarify, is for the hazard mitigation plan.
To help
In the
with
event
the
of
plan.
an emergency, a different grant would be applied for if available, and where that money goes would depend on who suffered from that. So here's Frank said, Fall River County is applying for a grant to update the county hazard mitigation plan. As part of the application process for the grant, each community within the county needs to sign a letter of commitment that states they'll participate in the planning process. I've attached the letter. It's now required that it be copied on City of Hot Springs official letterhead and signed by the mayor. So that's what this letter and this grant would be for.
And you said regardless of this, so the only thing that if we don't approve it, we just don't get in line for grant money. We're still going through with the mitigation plan for the county, right?
This letter helps the county apply for the grant to do the plan. We have to participate in the plan, yes. I don't know why we wouldn't agree to help them get grant money since they help us with the hazard plan.
But they get paid for
Yeah,
it,
good.
right?
Yeah, because if
No,
we
they
don't
don't get
upgrade
paid
the
for it.
plan,
It's
then we
just
have
helping
nothing to refer to when we say we want to mitigate a hazard. Because then we're just saying, hey, we want to do something because we want to. Without a current plan, we have no valid reference. It's,
No, I understand. Okay.
yeah, it's kind of, I'll withhold any editorial comments at this point.
Thank you.
That answer your question? All right. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. New business item D. Can I get a motion to recognize and record the name of the supplier for the purchase of 7,500 gallons of 100 low-lead aviation gasoline?
Make a motion to recognize and record the name of the supplier, the purchase of 7,500 gallons of 100 LL aviation gasoline by the Hot Springs Municipal Airport as required by South Dakota Codified Law 5-18C-6. Purchase made with City Service Valcon LLC for a total cost of $5.20 a gallon. Other vendors considered were Ascent Aviation Group, World Fuel at $5.80 a gallon, and MG Oil Company at $5.72 a gallon.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. New business item E. Can I get a motion to approve an automatic budget supplement of $20,265.32
I make
to
a
the police
motion
department?
to I make a motion to approve automatic budget supplement of $20,265.32 to the police department computer software budget 101-42100-43410 for the purchase of software for the new in-car computers. Revenue received from SDDPS Department of Homeland Security Program Grant.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. New business item F. Can I get a motion for an automatic budget supplement of $2,471.21 to the wastewater fund improvements?
Make a motion to approve automatic budget supplement, $2,471. Improvements other than building 604-43300 for the sewer and water maintenance main replacement project. Grant reimbursement received from grant number 1919-107.
Second.
Discussion. Misty, how much we got left in here? It's okay to round it up.
Yes, because I remember it rounded. I'll tell you in just a second. We have 606,000 drawn on 770,000 available,
Ah.
so 163,000 left over.
Thought we were a little lower than that. All
I
right.
slowed down, and the 12th draw request is just, haven't been doing a lot of work.
Well, that'll pick up in the next couple of weeks. All right. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. New business item G. Can I get a motion to approve a travel training request from police officer Lexi Jo Denicky?
Make a motion to approve travel training request from Police Officer Lexi Jo Denicky to attend the Advanced Roadside Impaired Driving Enforcement, ARIDE, ARIDE, training 10/29 through 10/31 in Winter, South Dakota.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. New business item H. Can I get a motion to approve a travel training request for Police Officer Lexi Jo Denicky to attend the DWI detection and standardized field sobriety?
I make a motion to approve the travel training request from Police Officer Lexi Jo Denicky to attend the DWI detection and standardized field sobriety instructor development training from November 13th through November 17th in Pierce, South Dakota.
Second.
Discussion?
Is she a newer officer?
Yes.
She's been with us 20 months. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. That brings us to our committee reports. First one, Administrative and Finance, JR. Melissa?
Our next admin finance meeting is November 6th at 1 PM here at the Mueller Civic Center. All are welcome.
Thank you. Because Bill is remote, go ahead and ask that he give his Airport Advisory Committee report at the next meeting. A couple of the things that they talked about, council's already taken action on, and that's hiring KLJ as our engineering firm, and then the change in the fuel cost at the airport. We'll defer him until the next council meeting. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Travis?
The Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management District Committee will meet again November 9th, which is Thursday. I believe it's at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
at the Mueller Center, sorry.
Historic Preservation, Deborah?
They meet again November 1st at 5 PM here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Linda?
Okay, the Evans Plunge Advisory Committee met on October 12th, 2023. Present were myself, Chris Hansen, Tom Nas, Allison Ritterbusch, Barry McNair, Travis Rydell, Gabby Martin. Guests present were Ivan Venner, Kim Moyer, and Ed Jensen. We start out discussing the diver program. This program will hopefully provide continued training for local divers and recertification and testing of their equipment. The group is hoping to develop more interest locally for training and certification of individuals, eventually looking to start a local search and rescue team. The times and dates are to be worked out with the plunge director, but looking at perhaps every other Sunday from 7 to 10 a.m. Kim said that she was going to put out something on Facebook to see how much interest there would be in the training of new divers. The end of year project, the HVAC in the cardio weight room is not controlling the temperatures. Brian Nelson reports it is deteriorated and not revivable, so looking at some of the 2023 budget for replacement. They will be addressing the slippery steps into the pool, shock the pool for algae, and the steam room floor has delaminated. They are meeting with a design company, ISG, from Mankato, Minnesota, to get an estimate on the facade work, and they're looking at insurance money that may be available. There was a review of the monthly incidents. There was only 2 reported incidents. And under other items, there was a request to have the Fall River swim team gear for sale in the gift shop. Allison will look into that. Summer admissions from May 1st to August 31st of 2023 sat at 80,550 admissions, compared to the same time in 2022 was 66,873. We are on track with our budgeting. Gabby reported on recreation swimming wanting to utilize the Fun Friday $3 admission October through April. Allison reported the Fall River swim team kicked off on October 12th with tryouts, and they're looking into long-term locker rentals for the team for the season. The staff will look into that. The next meeting will be November 9th, 2023 at noon at the Plunge, and we adjourned at 12:55 p.m.
I didn't catch those times
On
for the every other Sunday
from
something to 7 a.m.
7 to 10 a.m.
7 to 10. Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. You had a lot of great stuff in there. I was trying to catch them up.
Oh, did you want these minutes?
I take them for sure.
Oh, okay.
Any questions for Linda?
You said on that dive team, the divers coming in, are they going to be
Yeah, they want to come in and utilize the Plunge for training, testing of their equipment and recertification, and I think they will probably be charged for their time in the pool. That was mentioned. Yeah. Well, they're not developed into a search and rescue team yet, but that's going to be their goal.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Linda.
Okey dokey.
Parks, Recreation, Beautification, and Cultural Development, Larry, Linda?
bear with me, Larry will step in if I forget something. The meeting started at 2:02 PM, and you didn't have a date down here, Larry, when did we have that? Oh, on October 4th is when we had our meeting. At the meeting was Larry, Linda Varvel, Gabby Martin, Bart Sieg, Lori Sherrard, and Caitlin Mossett. The cemetery update, good weather for outside work at the cemetery, mowing, cutting weeds, and getting ready for the winter. And she was going to be blowing out her water lines and all that good stuff. The parks update, also getting ready for the winter, mowing, cutting weeds, and trimming some trees. The Mueller Center had no report, but there is a calendar at the Mueller Center showing upcoming events and on Facebook. Rec update, different programs are being set in motion for winter activities. Also the kids program at the school. Possibly swimming events at the Evans Plunge on Fridays. More information on Facebook page as to when events will take place in the near future. Rec fees, is that finance, Larry? Finance is putting together our year-end resolution, recommendations for the program. Family rates were talked about to help out family households with more than 3 children.
More kids in the home.
Yeah.
That was me, a recommendation from the council.
Yeah. The tree grant, a grant of up to $100,000 for tree removal, trimming, and planting of new trees will be submitted by October 13th of this year. This grant will help out in the parks with multiple needs for improvement. And for public comment, we were visited by Caitlin Mossett, representing the Keep Hot Springs Beautiful Committee. The committee welcomed her. We as a committee would like to continue the good things happening on the city and KHSB committee. And then under old business, we discussed the light issue at the tennis courts has been resolved. Meeting ended at 2:41 PM. Next meeting will be November 1st at 2 PM at the Mueller Center.
Larry, have anything you'd like to add?
I want to give Christie kudos. She had but a few days to get the grant together for the tree thing. And, on Friday, she was coming in sideways when she got it completed. Good
That's
job.
great, Misty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
The light up at the tennis court, can it now be manually turned off when they leave, or well, how did they fix it?
Do you remember what Bart said?
I believe it's a timer, and that's part of the problem, is it shuts off. You can't shut it on and off. So if you push it 15 times because it's not shutting off, then you're affecting the timer.
That adds on to the time?
Yeah, they weren't sure if it did, but there was some complaints that it was staying on after the scheduled time that you can't turn it on anymore, which I believe is 10 o'clock.
10
They were
o'clock.
pushing a button, they wouldn't come on. But it's still in the mindset to take a look at those, and probably do not this year, not probably our budget, but timing system put into that.
Yeah, because it would be nice to be able to turn them off, because I've walked my dog up there and nobody's there and the lights are on. And I saw one person drive up there, turn the lights on, and as I made my loop and I come back around 1 block later, and they're gone, and the lights are on.
I wish I could remember why Bart said that wasn't the best idea. So I'll try
Yeah, there was a
to
reason
gather
why
that.
he said,
Yeah.
it, I can't remember
I can't
So I
either.
went up there and I pushed the button and probably added more time. Sorry.
what. Doing the woman. That's all I got there.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Linda.
You're
On to planning and zoning. Deborah?
They meet this Wednesday, October 18th, 7 PM at City Hall.
Thank you. Public safety. Bill, JR?
Bill, you want to take this? No, I got it.
Thank you, JR.
Public Safety met on Thursday, October 5th, 2023 at 2 p.m. here at the Mueller Civic Center. Members present were Alderman Bill Lukens, Alderman J.R. Huddleston, Police Chief Ross Norton, Fall River County Emergency Manager Frank Maynard, Gary Baker, Fall River County Emergency Management, and Joe Culligan. Adoption of the agenda. The agenda was adopted as published. Communications from the public. A member of the public was present with questions regarding the fuels mitigation grant. Update from the police department. Officer Wendland is currently in line for the LET in November. The Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Grant was approved. 4 vests have been ordered. Review a USDA facilities grant. This is being assessed for a new vehicle. 6 more applicants have applied for and received deer access permits. Coffee with a Cop was scheduled for October 7, 2023 at 8 a.m. and was a great success. The chief will not be attending the IAPC conference due to scheduling conflicts. The committee reviewed PD calls report. Old business, there was none. New business, request for block party on Main Street. No requester was present, no action taken. Background checks by PD. Daycare, liquor, cannabis, and post-offer employment. We'll check with the sheriff on non-employment cases. The PD can complete checks on city-related post-employment checks. Review revision 2 of the Public Safety Committee Charter. Committee reviewed and accepted the proposed changes to the charter. Learning moment, there was none. Adjournment was at 2:37 p.m. The next meeting is Thursday, November 2nd, 2 p.m., Mueller Civic Center Conference Room. All are welcome.
Bill, anything you'd like to add?
No additions.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Public Works, Bill and Hal.
I don't have any minutes.
Say again?
I don't have the minutes for it.
Okay, so we'll go.
If you can hear me, I've got the minutes pulled up, Bob.
Council, can you hear Bill?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's right in front of me, and on the microphone. Carl's given us the thumbs up, so yeah, if you'd like to read them, go ahead.
Okay, Public Works met on Tuesday, October 10th at 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center Conference Room. Members present were Hal Glanville, myself, and Mayor Nelson. Members of the public present were Tom Iverson. The agenda was adopted as published. There were no communications from the public. The committee reviewed the request by Grandview Court LLC for a $1,906.89 rebate associated with the excessive use of water on the June 1, 2023 and July 5, 2023 water bill and August 1, 2023 water bills. The excessive use was due to leaks. After a thorough review, it was determined that the customer followed the process outlined in Title V, Chapter 51.07, and was made aware of the excessive usage by the city, and after the city's review of the water bills. And the customer is therefore eligible for the rebate per 51.07A2E. As a result of the notification, the customer replaced a block of private water and sewer line servicing some 20 residents of the Grandview Court. The extent of the work and the need to maintain service to the residents accounted for the extended leakage period. And that customer has been notified of the rebate that will be applied to future bills. Number two, the layout and dust concerns of Eli Avenue were reviewed and the information is continuing to be gathered. Item three, the 2023 paving project has been completed. Item four, the committee discussed the proposed changes to the water and wastewater ordinances and had no other recommended changes. And item five, the mayor provided an update on the road reconstruction project, and details of that update can be found in the weekly project update issued by the project. The meeting adjourned at 2:18 p.m. Next meeting will be Tuesday, October 31st, 1 p.m. at the Bueller Civic Center conference room. Any questions?
Hal, is there anything you'd like to add?
No?
Council, do you have any questions for Bill or Hal? Thank you, gentlemen. Southern Hills Golf Course. The Southern Hills Golf Course Committee met on October 9th at the clubhouse. Some notable items from that meeting. If you'll remember, they updated their software system from last year. And Jill says that the system is an improvement over the prior operating system. They're still working on familiarizing themselves with it, but are satisfied with it. This year, so far they've recorded approximately 13,000 rounds of golf. The flagpole that used to be closer to the entrance of the course has been relocated to the clubhouse area, and there is a light in place for that flag to be up 24 hours a day. There is some concern from the committee that there isn't any signage adjacent to the clubhouse to let visitors know where they need to park or check in. And they also would like to see a sign at the main entrance letting golfers know where the clubhouse is at versus having them go down into the maintenance area and the one of the golf cart storage areas. For a number of years now, I think it's probably the third year, maybe the fourth year, they've put on a Don Gannon golf tournament to raise funds for cart path repairs and in replacement, and that was a big success this year. The clubhouse rock wall that council approved, that's gotten bumped back to the start date on that to late November to early December. Still with the completion date of April 1st of 2024. Jason is continuing to order signage on the course itself. There's a number of holes that can be kind of confusing getting from one green to the next tee box. So he's working on signage to make that a little clearer. The golf course committee was a little disappointed that they weren't more involved in the deer hunting resolution, but that's going well. So I just wanted to share that they were disappointed that as a group they weren't more involved in that. We didn't reach out to any of the folks that are around the other locations to see how they felt about it through public safety. Spent 2 years with Game Fish and Parks trying to figure out the right way to manage deer in hot springs. And I think that what Bill and JR and Game Fish and Parks came up with is a good plan. I'll share this with Misty. The next meeting will be November 16th, 6 p.m. at the clubhouse, and that will probably be the last one of the year as the golf course shuts down, and those meetings will also stop until the next golf field. So. Any questions?
Will they have decided their 2024 race before the end of the year for our fee schedule, or is that something they do early in the following year?
Needs to be done this year because we do it first thing, so, all right.
It is helpful to have it done before the beginning of the year for people that come in and pay memberships and stuff, even though the courses
Okay, I'll raise that question with them.
You said that they had 13,000 rounds played this last year. Do you have a comparison for the year before?
I don't, Deborah.
If you remember when they wanted to switch to this new software, we pay for the software, we traded rounds for the other one, and it was oddly difficult to get a total number of rounds with the old software, and that was one of the selling points PJ shared when he recommended this new program is we're no longer trading rounds and we don't have to guess how much we may have paid for the software. We'll know and we'll be able to track every round. So even if we did have a number, I think there was some difference in what we could come up with and what quite possibly could have been a much bigger number depending on what we traded.
I got a question that's related to Indian clubhouse. Library and clubhouse.
Yeah, that's, it's one of my updates, but that's still being looked at. They haven't, this second hailstorm that occurred this year in July, we haven't gotten the adjusters' information yet on any damage. But theirs was fully complete and done just shortly before it was damaged again. So they were sending, our insurance company was sending down some, I don't think architect is the right word, but some professionals to inspect the roofs, and it was delayed for some reason. So that claim is still pending. I'll keep you updated, Larry, when we hear something.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions related to the golf course? All right, Finance Officer report, Misty?
I wanted to let council know I will be out of the office the week of the 23rd of October. Ariel's been doing a fantastic job while I'm gone, so I've just planned more vacations. Thank you, Linda and Melissa and Ariel, for attending the SCML annual conference, representing Hot Springs along with myself from October 4th through the 6th in Rapid City. There were hundreds of exhibitors to walk around and talk to. I attended the Association of Code Enforcement meetings, the South Dakota Municipal League pooling meetings, which included workers' comp, SDPAA, and our safety benefits. I think at that meeting, Melissa won a little money, Ariel won a little money, so congratulations. I came home empty-handed, but I still got a lot of good information. We attended the Safety Awards Luncheon where the City of Hot Springs was awarded with a gold membership. We didn't take it so that Lori Sherrard, our safety coordinator, when she goes to the annual conference coming up in November, will be able to get the award, but we were still recognized. I missed the policy committee meetings on Wednesday night because I had to come back and do payroll, which is really important for all our employees. And we tried to do it from the parking lot, but we couldn't get it to work, so I just decided to come home and do it. I attended crisis communication. Sandy Friends, who is the public information officer for Sioux Falls, presented, and that was a very good presentation, super interesting. It's important to have a point person when there's an emergency. She gave us some really helpful tools and some examples. I really appreciated that one. Matt Learman gave a 2-day presentation from conflict to conversation, which was very interesting. And one of the things I found so interesting was it didn't matter if he was comparing us to a big city in, say, Arizona or California or a small town. When we were answering the questions on a survey, many of the responses were the same. So although we're very different, we have a lot of similarities. And he really drove home having important and passionate conversations and how important those were. And then the last day, I attended a cybersecurity training with Mike Grigsby. He did an excellent job reminding us that it's not enough to just say IT takes care of that. And we, both Ariel and I, identified that we need some more training for our new employees to help come up with, or to help them know some of the risks that are out there, because the majority of things that happen, I think they said 85%, because somebody accidentally clicks on something or falls for something. And so one of the things we took away from that is we need to identify some good training that all of our new employees can take. So thank you for sending us. The time away is hard to make up for. We talked about the deadline with the tree grant, but it's worth it. It's worth it not only for the fun that you get to have and kind of getting to take a breather away from your everyday work, but talking to the other folks and the vendors that go through the same things we do and have the tools and resources out there for us. I really appreciate that the city encourages us all to. I was going to update on the hail damage from the 7/18 storm this year. I got the proof of loss and the claim for the vehicles. We're still waiting on the buildings, which was complicated by the 2022 hailstorm repairs just getting done or being in the process of being done while this storm occurred. We do have 2 PD vehicles that we need to make a decision on because they were totaled out. So I'm waiting for Ross to review those, water, wastewater, and the golf course for the other ones with vehicles damaged. We did meet the deadline for the Inflation Reduction Act grant that is newly available this year for the Community Forestry Program. They were the ones gifted the IRA money. It's up to $100,000. It's 100% reimbursable. And there were several different items you could choose the money for. Our community applied for the tree maintenance and pruning and removal. We have a number of beautiful parks that are full of new and very mature trees. And for our very small parks crew to keep up on the required pruning of those trees is very difficult, and this $100,000 will take us a long way in getting caught up and will allow us to pay someone else to come in and do it while our maintenance employees are so busy trying to keep up with all the other tasks they have. So wish us luck. It was, I think, about a 25-page submission before it was all done. And I didn't do it alone. I had some excellent help from Lori Sherrard, who helped with obtaining quotes and then taking those individuals around and showing them the areas of highest importance. And then also Josh Larson, our community tree forester, came down 2 different times to Hot Springs to meet with us and help us identify trees that he saw as a problem, and then also helped me with my grant submission. 3 different times I sent it to him, got some feedback, changed a few things, sent it back, and so I didn't do it alone, but thanks for the kudos, Larry. And then I did meet a deadline that I wasn't sure I was going to meet to have the City of Hot Springs highlighted in the November issue of the South Dakota Magazine, so keep your eye out for that. We will be in the November issue under the city highlights. Cool. And then last, I just wanted to remind council members interested, we are going to participate in the downtown trick or treat again on October 31st from 4 to 6 p.m. If you can make it, it's awful fun to watch the kids stream by. If you can't and you just want to donate some candy, we'll take your donation.
I promise not to scare the kids this year.
Some scare easier than others. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for Misty?
Oh, and I'm super excited for our new city administrator to start, and I owe Deborah an apology because I said, well, it's not like they're going to be ready to go when they start, and look at us. We've got a city administrator with experience in the state of South Dakota who is going to come in ready to start.
For historic preservation.
Yeah, I've got some great experience. I'm so excited to have a new city administrator starting in November.
Thank you, Misty.
That's all I got.
Well, Misty kind of stole my thunder on the only item I was going to talk to you about anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And you approved the new city administrator starting November 13th. That will be in between our council meetings, so give him an opportunity to learn a little bit about the city before he has to attend the first council meeting. And as you saw, Misty's enthusiasm with this particular candidate, since I've been involved with interviewing for city administrators, this is the first time that we've actually interviewed somebody that's in the position. And the department heads that interviewed were just excited as could be about that. You saw the individual's resume. So I think this is, I certainly hope this is going to be a good hire, and very down-to-earth individual. very casual and low-key. So thank you for hiring him. The folks at City Hall can use the break.
Yeah, big time.
Thank you very much. And hopefully all he has to do is learn about some of the specifics of Hot Springs, not so much learn the job of a city administrator in the state of South Dakota. He's familiar with the codified laws and ordinances and working with councils. So this is an exciting hire. Anxious to get him here. So with that, if I can get a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion, we go into executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2-3 legal.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you.
What time do you have, Mayor?
I'm showing 8:11, and there will be no action taken after executive session. And if our attorney and our finance officer could join us, I would appreciate that. And there will be a pause before we...
Came back an hour later than it happened.
So I have us back at 9:01, Misty. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.